Hey everybody, my name's Marty. This is my first YouTube video I'm putting out there. But like you can imagine, I am a big fan of the graded magazine hobby that I feel like is growing very quickly. I'm relatively new to it myself, maybe a couple years into it. But I just want to talk about a couple things that got me into the hobby, why I think it's on the verge of just continuing to grow and grow, and just some of the things that I think are cool. Some magazines I've got, and then in the future, I definitely want to do some unboxing videos. I've got a few things on the way. I've got an order coming in from CGC right now. I also have an order on its way from PSA, which are both fun boxes. So I'm excited to kind of see what those grades are and reveal those to you. But just a couple of things, how I got involved in the hobby. I've been into sports cards for a while. As a kid, I was way into sports cards. Kind of forgot about it for a long time. And then obviously after COVID, things happened to make those more prevalent. At the same time, unfortunately, my grandparents both were getting older, got sick and passed away, which sucked. But they were the ones who got me into collecting in the first place. They held on to a lot of cards and a lot of magazines. So when we went through their stuff, I found a lot of these old magazines, started going down rabbit holes, started researching things online and YouTube. Uh, and I got a lot of help initially, I will say, from Brad Griffin was the first videos that I watched of his. So thanks, Brad, for all your help, insight. Um, and then obviously James Cahoe. I don't know how to say your last name, James, but he continues to post tons of videos too. So they're super helpful. So I kind of want to thank the OGs of the community. Um, but just a couple things I wanted to share real quick before I get into my magazines. Um, the reason that I switched from sports cards to magazines, a big part of that was the sports cards are getting so watered down. We had the junk wax era, in the late '80s, early '90s, when things were just overproduced. Now we kind of moved into that junk slab era where there's just way too much graded, I guess, stuff, too many graded cards out there. But the real thing that it kind of got overwhelming, to be blunt, was that the parallels. So, years ago, I've got a 1986 Topps Jerry Rice rookie. It's not high grade, it's PSA 7. But I like it. Special card. It's an iconic card. The 86 Topps Jerry Rice. That's his rookie card. For him and like many other athletes in that day, they have one rookie card. Jerry Rice has one rookie card. It's very easy to keep track of. Where if you go to someone nowadays, I mean, you looked at Victor Wembanyama is a huge star in the NBA now. I couldn't even get to tell you how many tens of thousands of rookie cards he has between all the different products and all the different parallels, numbered cards. Like it's just insane. So you can't say you have a Wemby rookie anymore because you've got one of a billion Wemby rookies. So it got a little overwhelming for me, a little daunting. Um, and I think that's really appealing about the graded magazine arena is that there's usually one first cover. Now we can get in debates about is just the first cover like Michael Jordan his UNC cover, or is it more like sports cards where their first pro cover is is the one you want to chase. Numbers wise, it looks like obviously the UNC Michael Jordan is big, but I mean we'll see what happens in the future. Either way, I just think it's nice. There's a first cover. There's no parallels. Um, Although I will say, I think Slam is doing some very cool things in the hobby. Slam is putting out gold magazines numbered to 94, orange numbered magazines that they go until as many people buy them basically in a 24-hour period. PSA is also doing some numbers and some variants. So I think those are cool. That's making the hobby more collectible. But I still like the general. I mean, the general rule of thumb is there's one first cover. And whether that's Sports Illustrated, which I guess is another rabbit hole we could go down another time, is what's more important, just a athlete or celebrity's first magazine cover, or should it be a specific first magazine cover? For specifically like a first Sports Illustrated, as opposed to like a first Slam or a Time magazine. I don't know. We'll see. I like them all. So I just want to show off a couple items that I like. Some are unique, some are not. I've got some really cool stuff coming in the mail in the future too, so I'll do an unboxing video with that if this goes well. We'll see. But I like to mix up between athletics and then pop culture, movies, music. I kind of like everything in life, so that's kind of how I collect. So I want to go through kind of a few magazines here that I think are interesting. So I'm going to start with this British Vogue, which is trying to get the lighting right here, which is kind of a crazy magazine. I don't even know how or why I found out about this. This is the only one graded in CGC. I'm not surprised. And actually, it's a super thick magazine, so I don't even think, I could be wrong, but I don't even think you could get this graded anymore. But this is from the UK. It's called 40 Vogue Icons, One Epic Shoot. This is the final issue and farewell letter for their editorial director. But I thought it was big and kind of iconic. Vogue's a big magazine. If this editor had been there that long, and all the celebrities that are on here, I mean, you can see all the collectability. You got Kardashian, Dua Lipa, I mean, Cindy Crawford. I mean, there's just Oprah. There's a million people on here. So I thought it was worth a shot. I ordered it from it came from the UK. It wasn't a ton of money, maybe 20 or 30 bucks. I don't remember. It's been a couple years. But I went ahead and got it graded. It's an 8.5. Again, it's the top pop, but again, it's the only one graded. But just something I think that could hold some value in the future. So that's kind of some of my pop culture entryways. Another one here, love them or hate them. I won't get into it a whole lot. Either way, you can't deny the collectability of Donald Trump. Again, whether you love or hate him, it's like the old Howard Stern radio show, however many million people would tune in because they loved him, and then 3 times that many would tune in because they hated him. Kind of the same with Trump. I don't think you're going to be able to deny his place in history, good or bad. And the collectability, like I said, this is great. I got this on eBay, cleaned it up, got it graded, 9.2. So again, not super valuable, but again, it's a cool magazine, and I like the grade, and I think it's going to hold its place in history as far as pop culture goes. This last one is probably one of my more valuable magazines. It's a cool cover. There's 2 variants. And it's not a real popular publication, but this is Paper Magazine. This is one of the 2 Kim Kardashian covers. I feel like this variant is probably slightly more desired. It's a little more risque. This graded at a 9.6. So stats, there's only 31 of these magazines that have been graded. There's not a lot of them out there. Of all 31 that have been graded, there's only one 9.8. And it sold, I don't know, a year or 2 ago for $6.5 thousand. So that's a big magazine. So again, one 9.8. There are 3 of these 9.6s out there. So again, it's a rare magazine. It's tough to get a high grade. And again, lover or hater Kim Kardashian, I'm not a huge fan. I don't think she's done anything great. As a girl dad, I don't think she's done anything great for young women. But she's an icon. She's going to go down in history. Everyone in the world knows who she is. So again, I think this is a nice magazine to have. And again, it's probably one of my more high dollar end pieces that I have. So kind of segueing that line between, I guess I'm not saying it's still pop culture, still some politics. So I'll get this one out too. This is JFK's Sports Illustrated cover. It's a 5.0. This is a newsstand copy that I have. I have a couple of subscription copies as well. This is from December of 1960. Again, I think JFK speaks for himself. Everyone knows who JFK is. He's going to hold his place in American history for a long, long time. This is also one of the premier magazines in the United States, if not the world, Sports Illustrated. So I thought this was a cool cover. Like I said, I've got a few of these. This is my only newsstand copy, but I think I've got 3 of these all together. I just think it's a cool cover, a cool piece of American history. I think in CGC there are 17 newsstands graded, so not a whole lot. In PSA, there's only 2. I mean, this is the top pop at PSA, but again, I think their pop report's so new. I mean, it doesn't really carry a whole lot of weight yet. But as far as CGC, there's only 17 of these newsstands graded, 7.5 being the highest. And then subscription, there's 5 of them, with an 8 being the highest. Moving on, I will get into some stuff that I think are just some personal favorites of mine. A bit of pop culture, a bit of the way I grew up. So I think that's another part of the collectability. I didn't really talk about this. This is my first video. I'm not doing things as smoothly as I was hoped. But When collecting, I think there's stuff that is collectible because you love it. There's stuff you collect because it holds a special place in your heart, and then there's stuff you collect probably because there's some monetary value in it, at least if not now, some point in the future. And I kind of do a little bit of all that. Um, this is probably my favorite Sports Illustrated cover of all time for a number of reasons. My dad has been a huge Cardinals fan my entire life. Loves the Cardinals, and they're always terrible. So it's a pretty rough relationship. But Pat Tillman's a stud. You can't deny it. I mean, we grew up in a football family. My dad coached for 30 years. I played through college. Like we live and breathe football in my family. We also, I mean, both my grandparents were service members. They're veterans, so just holds a special place. I was a senior in high school when 9/11 happened, so this one hit close to home. And to have a guy who's a NFL superstar give it all up to go serve his country, I've always thought was super cool. And then the more I got to know about Pat Tillman, even the more I liked him. I think he was an awesome guy, American hero. This is a newsstand 9, which again the PSA pops are early. This is the top pop. There's 4 of these newsstands graded with PSA top pop, but again it's early. And CGC has 25 of these newsstands graded, and there's 8 9.8s out there. So just a cool cover, probably one of my favorite SI covers of all time. Uh, Along those lines, I talked about us being a football family. I'm probably going to resubmit this one, but we had season tickets for the St. Louis Rams the whole time they were in St. Louis. Um, some of my best family memories going down to tailgate with my dad, my grandpa, my brother, other friends and family members, and they were awesome times down there until Stan kind of did us wrong down there and bashed the city of St. Louis, took the Rams from us. So I've never been able to like the Rams ever since. But when they were the St. Louis Rams, they were great. This is when I first got into the hobby. I found this at my grandparents' house. They saved this one. I really wish I would have pressed it before I sent this in. That's before I knew much about the hobby, and I was just raw dogging things, getting things, and sending them in there. Since then, I've sent some things to James to get pressed. I've got my own t-shirt presser now, so I've been pressing my own machines with some added, success. So this is one I may crack and press at some point. I think this is the only one graded. So again, top pop, but again, not a lot of them out there. Just again, holds some special significance to me for sentimental reasons. Um, Another cool magazine. I'm about to wrap things up. So I'm a huge music guy. As you can tell, I've got all the Dead and Company posters behind me. Huge music guy. Grew up in a music house. My dad grew up, went to high school in the 80s, so he's a massive Van Halen fan, as am I. I came by it, honest. I think Eddie Van Halen might be the greatest guitarist of all time. He's definitely in the conversation. So I got this. I haven't seen a lot of these out there. This is his first Guitar World cover. All right. This is from, believe January 1981. This is 7.5. This is a newsstand. Again, he's just epic. It's Eddie Van Halen. This is his first Guitar World, which I think Guitar World is probably the preeminent guitar magazine out there. So to have his first cover on there, I thought was pretty special. I kind of wish it was his Frankenstein, but it's not. It's this Dragon guitar, which I'd never seen before. But either way, this is Eddie Van Halen's first cover. I got another one of these coming back in one of my next unboxing videos I'll reveal. I'm curious to see how it turns out. I've also got another cool Eddie Van Halen magazine that should also be coming back soon. But again, sentimental reason, and again, collectability. One of the best guitar players of all time. I think this is something that's going to hold some value. And there are not a ton of these out there. CGC, I think there's been 5 graded total. There's 2 of these 7.5s out there, and there are 2 8s. So again, a tougher magazine to come by. Seems like it's pretty difficult to get those in a high grade as well. So again, just a cool magazine that I like anyways. I'll get into speculation a little bit too here. Again, most of the things I've shown you, I collect just for love. I think they're going to hold value and they mean something to me. This is strictly monetary based. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I might get some hate for it. I am not a soccer guy. I've never been into soccer. Hats off to you if you love soccer. That's fantastic. I know it's the most popular sport in the world. Just not for me. However, I like to follow trends. I know the World Cup is huge, and the World Cup's right around the corner. And again, being a card guy, I've been hearing all this stuff about this guy, Lamine Yamal. Supposed to be the next big thing. He's breaking records. He's a young kid. They're already comparing him to Messi, Ronaldo, and he's got the stats to back it up. This is his first magazine cover ever. This is Champions Journal out of the UK. This is from May of 2024. If the magazine hobby keeps growing like I think it's going to, and it follows the trends of the sports card market, this is going to be a big magazine. Again, it's his first cover. It's a 9.8. There's a few of these out there right now. It's pretty new. There's a few in PSA. There's a 10 in PSA, and then I think CGC's got a couple 9.8s. PSA has some 9.8s now. But again, a budding rising star. I mean, I think Messi's first SI cover just sold for like 33K. So again, if this kid does anything like that, these are going to be a big magazine one day. He also plays for Spain, which is the favorite to win the World Cup this year. The World Cup starts in about a month or two. I got a few of these 9.8s. I'm thinking I may get rid of one of them. Hopefully, if he does well during the World Cup, a few of them may be long-term holds. But again, I think this is something that makes sense to me because I don't have any sentimental value to it. So it should be easier to offload for me. We'll see. But a lot of these stuff, cards or magazines, they just got a place in my heart. And I'm like, I could sell it now and make some money, but I don't want to get rid of it. So I'm hoping this breaks that trend because it is soccer and it's not really one of my favorite things. So, but let's root for Lamine Yamal. Let's hope that he is the stud everybody thinks he is. And I can look back in 20 years and talk about how smart I was for getting that magazine. The last one I'll tell you about is speculative. And this is my 2 cents, and I'll see what everybody thinks here. Is this right here. This is Beckett. This is Beckett #1. This is Michael Jordan. I know it's from 1990, April of 1990. So this is the first Beckett basketball. Why I like this a lot, and I think he's going to pick up. The numbers aren't huge on these. I mean, I'm not going to fool you with that. But what I think is there's going to be a lot of people like myself that enter the sports graded magazine hobby that come from the sports card collecting world. I think it's just a natural transition to go from sports cards to magazines. I think magazines are way better, but it's a booming hobby. It's starting, it's in its ground phase. So this is Michael Jordan for starters. I don't know that there's a more collectible athlete on the planet. It's a first issue. And again, if you collected cards like I did growing up in the 90s, Beckett was just a staple of your life. You had Beckett's everywhere. You would check them every month to see where your cards were. Did they go up? Did they go down? Every sports card collector out there knows Beckett like the back of their hand. So I think as more and more people come from the sports card hobby into the magazine hobby, these Becketts are only going to gain in popularity. Not only is this a #1 in Michael Jordan, but what makes this unique is the barcode or UPC code down here. So this is a newsstand Beckett. There's not a lot of these out there, and I don't think they get the respect they deserve yet. I'm hoping they do. So to give you some numbers, as far as the Jordan Becketts go, this magazine here in a subscription copy with CGC right now, there are 1,591 of these in subscription. In newsstand copies, there's only 42. All right. Of those 42, there's 5 9.8s. But if you do the math, that's like, 2%. So 2% of all these Michael Jordan first Beckett's, only 2% of them are newsstand copies. When you get to PSA, again, the pop counts, it's too new. Overall, there's 123 of these in subscription submitted to PSA. Only 14 are in newsstand. So again, this is a small percentage. And those are the reasons I kind of laid out that I think this should and could be more popular / more valuable. It's Jordan. It's his first cover. It's Beckett. It's what made the world go round with sports card collecting when I was a kid. And it's a newsstand copy, which makes it rare. So again, we'll see what happens. I got some more of these on the way. It's my first video. I hope I did all right. Again, thanks to the OGs, Brad, James, for kind of helping me get into this hobby. It's awesome. I like to see it expand. That's kind of why I'm putting this content out there, just to let you know there are all different kinds of magazines to collect, different reasons to collect. Hopefully you dig this video. If you like it, hit like, put some comments in there. If you got questions, you got some things you'd like me to talk about in the next video, I'd love to. Like I said, I've got a box on its way home from CGC and another box on its way home from PSA right now. Both I'm really excited about. They're pretty diverse, pretty eclectic boxes. They'll cover a little bit of ground in both of them. But yeah, that's my video. Appreciate you tuning in. Enjoy the hobby, and I will see you soon.